All right, I'm going to walk you through how to do a hip thrust. If you're at home and you don't have something like an exercise box to use, you can do this on your couch. You can do it if you have like one of those workout benches. You can even use an ottoman. The most important thing is where you're doing it, where your back is up against the surface that you're working on, is that it has enough cushion so it doesn't hurt the bony part of your spine. So here I'm just going to put a little pad where my back is going to go so I don't hurt myself on the hard box. So what you're going to do is where you place your back on the box is your pivot point. And so a really good spot is about mid back. You can go a little bit higher, which just dumps you down a little bit lower, but I wouldn't go any lower than your mid back as you're doing your hip thrust. So I'm going to kind of walk you through some key points of where you want your body to be at as you're moving through. So typically with our hip thrusts, we're really thinking about using the glutes to push up. So when you're setting yourself up, just do a simple thrust up just so you can kind of see where your feet are at. But you want to make sure that when you're at the top of your thrust, your knee is directly over the heel. You don't want to thrust up and have your knee past your heel, and you don't want to thrust up and have your knee too far behind your heel too. So you really want to make sure that as you come up, the knee ends over the heel. Then you know that you're in good position. So for a thrust technique, the two things I really want you to focus on is we're going to actually engage the hamstring a little bit. So I want you to imagine you're just going to kind of drag the heel towards your butt without actually moving your feet. And that's going to help engage your hamstrings a little bit. Outside of there, you really want to make sure that you're keeping your core really engaged, zipping up the lower abdominals. And you want to also make sure that you're also connecting up into the sternum too. So zipping up the lower abdominals and making sure that you're drawing the rib and the sternum towards your spine while maintaining that length in your spine. As you thrust up, keep the hamstring engaged. You're going to squeeze your glutes and exhale as you thrust up to finish. The harder you squeeze your glutes and the higher you thrust up, the more you really have to think about how engaged is the core. It's engaged when I'm down, but as I come up, I really have to make sure I'm activating it a little bit more so that I end in neutral and my back stays straight the entire movement. What you don't want is you're not engaging enough, you thrust up and you're actually overarching. That is a really good way of hurting your back. And then again, when I come down, my core stays engaged so that even when I come, my back is actually still in that straight neutral position and the only bend is at the actual hip. And that's going to be your hip thrust.